Ian is a weirdo. So today I'm going to start my secret Valentine's Day project, which is making a bouquet of crocheted flowers. Now, I've already made a couple testers, but I don't really love the colors of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pattern that I just made up some things. Some of them I want to reflect real flowers. This is my lavender. I tried it on a green pipe thinner and boop. So I'm going to try to do the lavender in a little bit of a different way and see if that works a little bit better. So we're going to start out. So I'm going to use this pen as my base. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give like a really quick coating of green paint to it. It doesn't need to match the yarn exactly, just like if it peeks through and it doesn't look too weird. So I'm just going to give that a quick coating. Then this is a pen that also like is out of ink, so it's not like I'm using like a functional pen. It would be cool to have like a lavender pen that was functional, but for me I just was like, why not use this pen that no longer works that would otherwise go in the trash, because I didn't have anything like a wooden dowel. I mean, honestly, that would have been ideal, but this wasn't in the cards for me. So, yeah, so I'm just gonna glob some paint on there. You know, I'm gonna do an I-cord around it. That's the goal. And just stick this in to give it some stability. So now that we have our paint, should have brought some water. Oopsies. I'll try to get the paint out on this paper and see if that helps. Planning ahead, folks, makes a big difference. Okay. So I'm gonna learn how to make a I-cord. I have a video here. This is by Bella Coco, and I'm gonna use some Red Heart yarn, and I think I'm going to use, trying to figure out the hook size I want to use. Like what I have available. So here's an H. That might be a good size to start with. And we'll see how this works. So we're starting with a slip knot. This person did not say what hook size they used, so that's why I'm kind of just guessing. I'm sure you can adjust it to be whatever you want, but for me, I just needed to go around this, and like, I don't know if I should just like do a tube, but I feel like the tube wouldn't fit right, and I kind of want like an I-cord instead. Actually, I mean, I have this wooden chopstick, but I use it to put my polyfoam in, so I don't really want to use a polyfill, and so I don't really want to use that. Okay, so let me, I have no idea what I'm doing. What? think I dropped something. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I definitely like lost a loop somewhere. Okie dokie. So we have three chains. We're gonna go into the second one, pull through, third one, pull through, and then we're going to release these two, and then somehow I'm going to grab this, pull it tight, go through the second loop, yarn over, pull through one, third loop, yarn over, pull through one, and now I have somehow three on the hook again. Okay, I don't know if this is what I want. I thought that was going to be more like a tube, but that's not really what it is. So, okay, so I don't really like this. I don't really like this. It just doesn't look like a tube. Okay, maybe an high cord wasn't what I was looking for. How to crochet a tiny tube. Okay, so now we're watching Sorella, which is like sew and then Rella. Okay, so we have our slip knot. This seems dumb. It seems like you make just like a tiny strip and then you make it into a tube. I don't really know how that's supposed to help me be like um, anything different. Oh wow. No. I'm sorry. I don't mean to shit talk anybody's videos, but I just that just isn't what okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm actually gonna start with a magic loop because then I can get the bottom. And I don't think I'll have to do too many stitches. Maybe do like, I don't know, 4 or something. We'll see. Um, I love the magic circle. For me, it's been like a really helpful tool, but I know some people prefer to chain. It's just about what you feel more comfortable with. Um, okay, so let's try 1, 2, 3, 4. And this hook size might be a little big, but we'll see. Yeah, looks good enough. Let's give it a try. Okay, tighten up my circle, and then instead of slip stitching into my next, into the first, whatchamacallit that I did, I'm just going to go ahead and insert my hook and do a single crochet. We're just going to work in a continuous round because that's just what we're going to do. There's no need to have like a big ass seam on the side. So what I'm planning on doing is not only do I have this pen that I've painted, I'm going to use the pipe cleaners that didn't do super well for me in the first time. But I'm going to do that to hold the lavender part, and I'm going to double up the pipe cleaner so it's a little bit stronger. Sorry, there's like all this kind of shit on it because it's been on the ground for like months. But this is, I just freehanded a pattern around the pipe cleaner, and I kind of drew inspiration from a couple of different patterns that I've done and scenes. So we're just going to kind of freehand lavender. You can make it however you want, but this is something that's super easy to make. You can make a whole bouquet of lavender. If you put lavender oil in it, that would smell amazing and be super cool. It's just about what you want to do. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna turn on some jams, some tasty jams. So I am making a bouquet of crochet flowers. And so when I was in treatment in September and October, I I only had like Halloweeny colors, so I didn't exactly get the results I wanted, but it did give me an idea of how I wanted to start. So today we're going to work on lavender. Hey, Crystal. So one of the problems I ran into with my original lavender is I built it on one pipe cleaner, and you can see it's a little limp, right? So what I'm doing is first I painted this this pen, and I'm gonna make a crochet kind of stem around it, but this will give it some more stability. And then I'm going to, just try to figure out a way to do what I want to do. So, for me, obviously, I think a lot of us when we crochet, there's a lot of love in it. We want the people that we're making this for to recognize that we put the time and effort into it because we love them and we care about them. And so for me, this is definitely like an act of love. Um, and so I'm really excited. I'm gonna follow some patterns. I'm gonna freehand some stuff. We're just gonna have a good time. So I want there to be a variety of flowers in this bouquet, and then once I have the flowers done, I'm gonna try to find like a nice special vase, maybe at like either like Marshalls or maybe like an antique store or something like that. That just kind of is the essence of what I'm looking for. So I'm using an H hook. I'm not sure if the holes are gonna be too big or whatnot. But we'll see. I'm gonna jam another pen in there and just to kind of see how it's coming out. But I'm just gonna wait a second so I can get a little bit more progress before I start jamming things into this. I was gonna do an I chord. I started learning how to do it, but then I thought an I chord was actually a chord like a tube, but turns out it's just like I don't know. It wasn't what I was looking for. So I tried something new, and it didn't work out. Okay, we're gonna listen to some Dua Lipa. Yeah, exactly. And so it's something I started in treatment as like a act of love, but I just really didn't like the colors, so I felt um, a little stifled. I wanted to start this yesterday, but I didn't think of it until today because I was gonna do just like random Valentine's Day projects, and then I was like, oh yeah, I was working on this at one point. Okay, so I'm gonna see. This is a different shaped pen. It's approximately the same size, and so I'm gonna jam that in there, and I think that it will be good. Now this pen is black, and this one has been painted like a bright green, so it might peek through, but I don't think it's a big deal. I just slathered paint all over it. Okay, so now we're just gonna keep on going. So what is everyone else working on? So both. It really depends on the flower. For the lavender, because I didn't have a lot of access to like digital stuff. For all these flowers, I freehanded everything. Um, but I don't think there's anything particularly revolutionary about them. But I will tell you what I'm doing as I do. This one, I started with a magic circle of 4 single crochets, and then I've just been doing a um, uh, continuous single crochet loop around. So yeah, so most of these will be freehand because I don't see a lot of patterns that I really feel connected to. One that I really like is the rose pattern that like you make basically it's like a really long string of like petals and leaves, and then you just roll it all up because like when you make individual leaves, it's so much work. So I'm really excited to find that that pattern and start working on that. Because like this was really hard to do, surprisingly. So it's got 5 petals or 6 petals. It reminds me of like a magnolia, and then I just freehanded all of these little like loops, um, just to give it some texture. But like I think it would be pretty as a magnolia. But it was really hard to attach the back to and keep the flowers like evenly distributed. So I might do something similar to this, but just a little bit more planned. Do I want dance music? I'm not really feeling this, but let me go with like Ariana Grande Radio. See if that's something I'm digging. So I'm just making a big long tube, and this is going to be the base of the lavender, and then the lavender will kind of spin around it. Because basically what I did for the lavender, a lot of this was focusing on like loops. So what I would do is, I believe I would chain maybe like 3, and then I'd start a little loop, and then in the next chain I would, or maybe I would like chain 1 at the end of the loop, once it was closed, and then do another loop and do the same thing until I got to the end, and then I would reattach it, so it's just like this little 3-piece little biscuit, and then I would attach it to the stem, and then I would do it again. So you can make it as full or as sparse as you want. It just depends on the look you're going for. Because right now it kind of looks like grapes with the amount that I did. So, I mean, I like grapes. But to me, like, I mean, I see it and I'm like, that's lavender. But I also made it, so I'm biased, right? Hey, Samantha. So if you watch the video, it will tell you exactly when I am picking it. I've also posted, like uh, posts on YouTube about when I'm picking it, so you can check those. My lips are so dry. Admittedly, I haven't been drinking enough water, so don't judge me. Yep. And I will be recording the videos so that I can screen record um, uh, so that I can also make sure that that person is subscribed, because that was part of the condition. Um, so making sure that they're subscribed. So I'll do it off of. So the video will probably go up tomorrow, but it depends on how late I'm up tonight, if I'm being honest. Oh, hey, Zach. Sorry, for some reason I didn't like see you. Like, I saw your comment, but I read, like, when you said Samantha, sorry, I read that you were Samantha, so I was just like, oh, yeah, Samantha's been here. But, like, nope, sorry. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, I can almost do my giveaway. I'm 21 away. That's awesome. Congratulations, Zach. I really hope you get there. Not just for giveaway purposes, but obviously you have a goal. I hope you get there. It's a big deal. Hey, Winter. So right now I'm making a tube. It's not anything fancy by any means, but it's a continuous, um, circle started with a magic circle of that's awesome. That's so cool, Zach. I know just reaching 1,000 was a really big deal to me, so 1,300 is even bigger. That's awesome. So I started with 4 single crochets and a magic circle. I painted this pen. It's a pen that is out of ink, so I didn't feel bad about painting it. And then it will be nestled in this tube, similar to this pen. Because when I first tried to make this, I made it on a pipe cleaner, and you can see, boop, too heavy, and it just kind of folds. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the base of a pen, and then I'm gonna build pipe cleaners on top of it so that this can naturally have some like sway to it. I'm also gonna double up the pipe cleaner so it's a little bit thicker and stronger. And then I'm gonna start doing the I'll probably still do um, the loop around it. Going to wait a few days to see if it sticks or not. I understand that. Yeah, it's a variable. But I do find if you do giveaways and you make part of it, people have to be subscribed to you, then that number usually grows, at least in my experience. So that's definitely helpful in making it stick, in my experience. So I hope that helps. So I'm using a 5mm furls hook. I'm using Red Art Super Saver, just like random yarn I got at the thrift store. I like using yarn like this for projects like this because, um, you know, it doesn't matter if I can find that same color again. It's just a small amount that I use. Yeah, same here. I mean, like it'd be cool to make money off of it, but I'm never gonna get monetized. You've heard my channel. Like it's just not gonna happen. Um, so like I might do memberships. I'm not sure. I feel like, I tried to do the Patreon thing and no one was really interested in it. So I feel like doing memberships would be kind of a waste. But I was gonna like kind of move my Patreon over to memberships and see if I could get people that way. Um, but no one was interested. So just like a show of hands or whatever, like if I did memberships, would anyone be interested in it? Um, I know that for me personally, I don't pay for any memberships because I can't afford it. I am poor. So like if you're not in a position to do it, I totally understand. There's no judgment there. Okay, bye Zach. But like, is anyone interested in that? If you're interested in what I would do, um, on there, I'll send you my Patreon link, um, so that you can see how I described what would be special about it. Um, and then I would do the same thing on my memberships. Okay, so okay, so what I'm gonna do now, the pen is mostly dry. I just did like a really thin coat. Um, and so I'm gonna take this and because I feel like that's a good amount of like um, petals. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to like fit this underneath the cap. And I don't know, maybe like twist it around like this or something. Who knows? I'm just making shit up. You all should know that by now. Okay, and then I'm gonna twist this up so it's nice and it's kind of as strong as it's gonna be. I hope this piece that's kind of sticking up now will fit inside. We'll see. Okay, I've got paint on my hands now, which is cool, whatever. But I'm just gonna keep on going around and around and around. This is a free-handed pattern. I know that there are other patterns online for this, but I just chose to free. I mean, I didn't really have a choice but to freehand it just based on my situation. So, yeah. So, I'm just gonna keep on crocheting the length. This to be the length of the again. It's already pretty sturdy. Like it already has a pretty good form. But once the weight of the petals go on, it's definitely gonna have some lean to it. So having the pen and the uh, pipe cleaner should be helpful. Now I do want to make sure that the pen's mostly dry by the time I um, put this on. So what I might do is I might start the petals um, uh, before I slide the kind of core into it. We'll see. I'm just making stuff up. I really wish I would have had like a wooden dowel or something, but I just don't have that, so. Okay, somehow I dropped a stitch. One, two, three. Okay. Just want to make sure it's wide enough. It's really easy to drop a stitch or add a stitch here. But you want it to be a pretty, kind of, you want your tube to kind of stay the same size throughout the whole thing. But yeah, I kind of thought of this idea back in September or October, but I just didn't have the color options um, due to me being in treatment for my mental health. So we didn't really have like a lot of access to computers and stuff. So or like any kind of phones or anything like that. So I just had to like make stuff up. Okay. Okay. So we're getting close to the length. This is really cool. I think this would be a fun little like bracelet or something. Just like for tube, like multiple tubes of necklaces. Oh, what if I made a dress or something out of like just like tubes? That'd be cool, right? Have like a lot of texture and whatnot. Right? Hey, Reiki boy. Hey, Reiki boy. Hey, baby. Hey, baby boy. You stink, though. You smell like outside dog. I'm not into that. Stink it out. Okay, so let's see. We're making our way downtown. This looks good. I'm feeling it. It can be a little bit longer, but it needs to make sure that it's not shorter than the piece. And especially because we have a lot of bulk in this area. Um, huh. That's so weird. Hmm, sorry about that for anyone listening. Okay, so 34-minute time marker. Okay, cool. I'll check that out and try to figure out what that is. I'm not quite sure. Thank you for the heads up. I'm sorry, headphone users. Um, I'm lowering my volume now. Is that more comfortable? I I think I might have like accidentally clicked like higher volume or something. I'm not sure. I never know what's going on. If you expect me to know what's going on, you're on the wrong channel. So if we're gonna do this before we insert our okay. Yeah, that's so weird. I wonder if there's like interference with my headphones and I don't know. Because these are brand new. But uh so because I'm doing this around the tube, I want to make sure when I add it to the tube, I don't sew the tube closed, so you can't put the insert inside. In hindsight, I probably should have used like a little bit lighter of a green, but it is what it is. A lot of this will be covered, so it's really just about getting a good foundation um, started and going. This is very easy. I do think it's fairly beginner friendly. I do think that, like I said, it's easy to lose a stitch or something like that. So you would want to make sure that you're kind of keeping track of your stitches so that you always have four on your way around. Because if you drop a stitch, especially, you're going to have trouble fitting whatever base you're putting in. Um, but I'm not doing anything too complicated, um, so if I can do it, you can probably do it. And even if you don't do magic circle, even if you chain, I think that you can easily make this. Alright, so let's see where we are in our journey. And a good way to make sure that you're on the right path is to constantly take a pen or whatever you're working around and make sure it fits in the tube. Otherwise, you'll have to frog back and make sure that it will go through. if you did paint whatever you're putting in there, you're gonna make sure that it's dry. Otherwise, you're gonna get paint all over your yarn. And the thing about acrylic paint and acrylic yarn is that it's not coming off once it's dried. So please enable channel. Can you all still chat? It's acting like it can't chat anymore. But it says it's still going. I'm really not sure. Maybe I'm having like connectivity issues. Oh, see, look, you just were able to type. Okay, well, I don't know what that was about. That was weird. YouTube's acting a fool, or restreaming. Somebody is. Not me. I'm fine. Are you seeing the YouTube side? No, I'm seeing it's all through restream. So I don't really know what it looks like right now on YouTube. I could look for it, but I don't care that much now that I'm seeing. There it goes now. Okay. So I'm looking, it looks like a little bit longer. We're just going to go just a little bit extra just in case because I don't want to do all this work. I could always bend the pipe cleaners, but just really want it to fit. Okay. So I'm going to leave a tail so that I can close this up because because obviously I need to put the core in there, but I want to go to the petals part. So so let's see. So what did I do? I think I know, but I just want to make sure. Okay. 2, 3. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my purple. Do we like this one, or should we do something a little bit lighter? Oh, I think I have a good color. I'll be right back. Don't mind my boxer. Okay, so I don't know the name of this color. I don't know if it's even sold anymore. Because I think I found it at the um I don't know if I think I got it at the thrift store. Maybe I didn't. This Kieran Simply Soft, and it's like this purple periwinkle, but it has this really nice like blue shiftiness to it. So, okay. So what I'm gonna do, especially because I have this like crocheted bit. Okay. What did I do? Oh, there's my tube. Where's my tube? I just did all that work and it's gone. So you're still working on the blue um the the blue shawl blanket wrap thing. I know it's perfect and it's so cool. Like I love the kind of tone to it. I don't really use a lot of purples, so I have like this, and then I have like more Halloweeny purples. So I'm gonna go about halfway in, and I'm going to pull through. Again, make sure really try to make sure that you're not sewing um, the tube close. I moved on to another project. I understand that. Yep, love you. Hey, Lydia. I'm not the most consistent person who crochets. You and me both. Like I said earlier, I have so many whips. It's embarrassing. Okay, so I'm gonna chain 3. I'm gonna try to remember what I did. Rest my hands, but I want to progress on some things I need to do. I saw that, yeah, your hands were having a time of it, Winter. I'm sorry. Um, so I'm gonna go into the second loop from the hook. I'm gonna pull through, and then what did I do? Oh, you know what I did? I think I did a chain 4, and no, I chained 5. There we go. And then I went in the 1, 2, 3. What happened here? I don't like that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to go into the 4th loop from the hook. And we're going to do a slip stitch. So it looks just like a little loop right there. And then I'm going to chain 5, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to go into that same stitch that I started this chain from, and I'm going to do a slip stitch in there. And then I'm going to chain 3, and then I'm going to go into the original, the first chain that we did in this cluster, and I'm going to slip stitch in there. So it just kind of looks like that, like a little three-prong thing. And then make sure I'm going up the right side. And then I'm just gonna kind of crawl up the tube, do a slip stitch, and just kind of put it wherever feels natural to you. And then we're gonna repeat our steps. So chain 5. You want to kind of keep it like now when I put it on the pipe cleaner, things could slide around, so you kind of adjust it. But once it's crocheted into the loop, you're not going to be able to move it around. So you got to be a little bit more mindful of your placement. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to go into the 4th loop. from the hook, do a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 5 again, 2, hi Marie, 4, 5. We're going to slip stitch into that same stitch that we slip stitched into earlier, and then we're going to chain 3. I'm sure there's like a better way to do this, but I just made this up. So do it however you want. No problem, Amy. You were talking to the king of being distracted, so no judgment here. And then you're gonna go, make sure you go into that first chain. Try to make sure things are fairly tight because they have a tendency to like loosen up and they look kind of weird. Okay, so this is kind of where we're starting right here. We want to make sure we get to the other side. So in the same row, I'm gonna just like go and do a slip stitch. And you put enough, so like you can always start by putting less on there, and if you get to the top and you realize you didn't put enough, you can turn around and go back down. Totally fine. Just kind of feel your way through it. There's no rules. It's just art, right? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 5, into the 4th loop, slip stitch, and especially that 4th loop, you want to make sure it's pretty tight because it gets stretched out really easily and it's a little distracting to the whole aesthetic. 4, 5, and I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and then into that first chain. I'm kind of a more is more kind of person, so I kind of just start stuffing a bunch on there. You can see that it just kind of starts to fill up the space. Um, so I am working on flowers, different flowers for a um, Valentine's Day bouquet. So I'm just freehanding this project with like a pattern that I made when I was in treatment. Oh yeah, that's great. That's so sweet, Marie, that you're taking care of someone. And being a caretaker is difficult in any capacity. So, wishing you the best for sure. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think this is probably one of the more popular flowers to crochet. So there are other options if you want to watch a tutorial, but I just made this up. 2, 3, and then we're going to go into that first chain we did. So each, I guess, petal or whatever has like a 3-part stem. And so you can see that it starts to really fill out and just look pretty nice. And I dig it. It's pretty blue for the purpose of what we're doing, but who cares? Good enough is good enough, right? Yeah. I just really made it up. And it's just chains and slip stitches. So a lot of people could do this if they knew how to do those particular elements, right? So I like that it's simple. It's when I made it, I just kind of was like focusing on the shape, And then I realized that it just was a really easy thing that a lot of people could do. So I'm excited to do. So I like the idea of the yellow zombie cat, but if your hands are hurting, at least in my experience, I won't tell you how it is. But if I push myself past the point of when my pain starts, then the next day is like so much harder for me. So if that's true for you, then maybe consider, taking the break that is well deserved for you. But, I know we can't always take breaks, so, do what you can, Winter. You're awesome. You kick ass. So, um, okay, so I started it in this the beginning of this video. So if you want to go back and watch it, you can. But basically, I created a magic circle of single crochets, 4 single crochets, and then I just continuously went around the single crochets until I had the length that I wanted to. I made it a tube because I have this kind of like foundation. This is weird. I had this like pen that didn't have any more ink, and I just painted it green, and then I put the pipe cleaner on it just to give it a little bit more length. But I needed a really sturdy base. I'm just getting some parts done so I'm not overwhelmed with things and crochet later on. I totally understand that. We just have to take care of ourselves, right? But yeah, if you want to watch all the steps on how I do this, it's fairly straightforward. I think it's pretty beginner friendly. Like I said, as long as you make sure that you are keeping track when you're doing the tube, that you keep the same number of stitches all the way around, because it's really easy to drop a stitch and then no longer be able to fit whatever you're putting in there. Um, uh, it won't fit anymore. Also the orange, the coral, the fuchsia, and the white to do a one at a time. Yeah, that's a lot. That's why, like, I just like stuffies are really hard for me to like produce, like, because there's just so many parts that people are like, oh, it's just like a little thing, and you're like, no, it's several parts. It takes me a super long time to do, and I would appreciate if you could just be like a little bit uh, understanding that this is not an easy thing. People who don't crochet just don't get it usually. How much work goes into stuff. And some of them I'm bunching together more, some of them I'm bunching together less. I don't think this looks as good because the stem is thicker, but it looks all right, and then I'll just kind of keep adding them. Um, yeah, exactly. I used to do a bunch of body pincher. Yeah, see, that drives me nuts, drives me totally bonkers. But hey, someone's got to do it, and you're the person to go to for that. So I'm happy that that is a popular item for you. sometimes we love those popular items that we have, and sometimes just like, you know, um, yeah. But still nice to have people buy our stuff, right? If anyone has like different flower tutorials that they found on YouTube that they like, you want to put that in Army of Weirdos, I would appreciate it because it would just reduce the searching that I have to do. Um, but I think everyone has, when it comes to like a romantic holiday, everyone has like, different ways of approaching it, and it depends on whether you're single and like don't want to be single, or you're single and you do want to be single, or you're not into relationships or whatever. And then you know, what your relationship status is and stuff like that. I know it can help affect how you see these holidays. I figured that because I kind of started so late, I didn't have time to I did. There's one rose tutorial that like instead of making individual petals, you make it all on a string and then you just roll it up. And like really, really, um, I'm like that's way easier than making like a million petals because that's not the tea. I'm not into that. Oh, a lot of you, I don't think were here when I showed my hand dyed yarn. Um, so I have four. They kind of came in two batches because I didn't have enough space to do them all at once. But this is the yarn that I made. It's in trans colors. Some of them have more like rich blues, and like this was in my first batch. It doesn't have a whole lot of pink. These are trans colors. And then I think this one was also in my first batch, or you can see the pink just isn't very prominent. My brain kind of melted when I was doing, like, putting my colors on, and then I was like, oh shit, that's not the order of the colors. But you can see these have a lot more pink in them, and they have a lot more white as well. And so this is just cotton that I got. It's Peaches and Cream from Walmart. I wanted to start with the cheapest cotton to start learning how to dye, and then eventually maybe I'll work my way up to like a nicer, um, softer cotton. But I thought it would be great for packers, apparel like festival tops and stuff like that. I wanted to do different pride flags that would make me be really happy because I've vented to Winter about this about 100 million thousand times, where I'm so annoyed that like there aren't a lot of like pride color options for us folks. So I really want to thank you, Crystal, and Winter. So uh so I want to get my skill up, and then maybe if anyone's interested, I could start selling it. I don't know if, because cotton is so cheap generally, and I don't know if it would be worth it for a lot of people to buy cotton in that variegation. I don't know if anybody cares about that, but we'll see. Okay, so this is going super annoyingly. Okay. Yeah, so I think that I'll try maybe one more trans. Um, Although I got my colors kind of confused. in the tie-dye kit that I did. Um, uh, so, I'd buy all your pregnant. Thank you, Winter. I mean, that's the thing. If I had money, I would buy a lot more yarn than I have, and I have a lot of yarn. But I'm trying to be more reasonable because I'm trying to save up. We're trying to save up for a car and hopefully an apartment to move out. Because like, there's no way we can afford like a house or anything. But it's been stressful because I don't really know what my living situation is going to look like in the near future. Um, and that's just kind of how it goes sometimes, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just trying to like see if there's ways I can make money. That would be cool, but if not, then at least decreasing my stash and not having to move so much would be nice. Even though I want to have as much yarn around me as possible all the time. Alright, so this is how it's looking so far. I think it looks okay. I don't know. It doesn't quite look like it did before. I think it's just the thickness of the stem. But I think it like will read as what we want it to. So I'm just gonna keep on going. If you had like a really thin dowel that you could just like paint green, I think that would be like optimal, but that's not what I have. I cleaned a lot today. I had a bit of a meltdown and just like paralysis over like kind of just like things going on after I was already pretty exhausted. And like, so I had a bit of like a time where like I just was like, I can't do this anymore. And I just kind of like gave up and just like was in bed for like hours. But I did get a lot done. I cleaned the bathroom. I swept the floors a little bit. Did laundry. All of these things. When you like have a lot of executive function, like these might not seem like big deals to do, or when you're not depressed, or if basically you don't have trouble doing things, then this might not seem like a big deal. But for me to do all that is a really huge deal. Um, and I'm not saying that just to like give myself props. Like, no, it's very, very difficult to like, because like I've been wanting to clean for like for days, but I haven't had any energy to like actually like start. Like with ADHD, like motivation is super, super hard. I think it's hard for a lot of people, anyways, but with ADHD especially, it's like the concept of like inertia, like what's in motion will stay in motion, what is and the opposite is true, right? And so like that's very much like the ADHD like creed, right? Where if you start going, it's a lot easier to keep going, but if you if you can't like get moving just a little bit, then it's really, really challenging. So finally got going today after, you know, over a week of trying to fucking do anything. And, I'm glad I finally got there, but it was exhausting getting there. And then I was like, I kept on being like, if I stop because I'm tired now, then I won't be able to get back going again, to get in the mind of moving and doing. Absolutely. I'm really bad at making habits because I'm so forgetful that I'll forget that I started a habit and then it will never come back. And I've done apps that have helped me some, but it's not, it's kind of like it's good when it's good. It's not great at all when it's bad, So, um, so one app I really like that has really helped me that I haven't used in a while. So, do as I say, not as I do. But it's called Finch, like the bird. I'm gonna type it in. Um, I'll put it in the chat, but it's really nice. It helps you accomplish things. Um, and it just is like a gentle reminder. You help like nurture this bird, and then you can like take it places and dress it up, and it's really cute, like gamification of getting things done. And you can put, it's all like the pressure that you are willing to put on yourself. So it's like not like any external pressure to like do something that you can't do. And it even has like, hey, you get points today just for getting out of bed. Like there's like stuff like that. So it really does help. Capable of forming habits. Yeah, I get bored of them. Yep. And then go into paralysis mode and decide it's too much. Yes, things being too much is a very real phenomenon when you're like, where do I start? What do I do? Like, just should I do this first? Should I do this first? Should I do this first? And like, oh, how are we gonna do this? And like, I think that's something that like Mel and I have had to work on, communicating, over the years, is because she's very like, she remembers everything, and she um, is so self determined. Like it's amazing and it's incredibly impressive, but I could not be more different, right? Where it's like I habits are really hard for me to make. I try to make plans and then I have a panic attack and I can't do that, and so we're learning how to communicate those differences and how we perform tasks, and that's just part of being in a relationship, right? Okay, so this is it so far. I think it's looking pretty good. I like the color. Actually, like when it was just this big, I was like, ugh, I don't know about that color. It might be a little bit too blue. But it's really, I'm feeling it now. Feeling it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's why, like, I have so many whips because I get bored and I'm like, nope, I can't do that anymore. Thank you, Winter. Yeah, I love when things work out because they don't usually, you know. But this is a really easy thing. Like I said, this would be so cute if you just did a bunch of these. And if you had like the same base, like I said, like a wooden dowel or something, would be really nice. But if you had a bunch of these and you just made like a little bouquet of it, I think that would be so cute. And think about someone who's like gonna be in the hospital for like a week or two, like what a nice little gift to have like crocheted flowers. I don't think this needs to be a romantic gift at all. If you don't want it to be, I think it's perfect to give people just as a sweet little like, here you go. Does anyone love giving non-romantic gifts? I like romantic gifts, but I feel like there's like additional pressure with them. But non-romantic gifts, I love doing because it's just like it's like you can like imbue, like, is that the right word? You can imbue and like put so much love in it for like a friend, or someone who like really matters a lot to you, and whenever they see it they can feel the love that you put into it. I know some people aren't really into like witchcraft and stuff like that, which is fine if you're not, okay? But like I think that there's a certain level of magic that we put into the projects that we make, and that magic is love, which is a super powerful form of magic, if you ask me. And and so putting that love magic in there, that love magic, is such a wonderful and powerful thing that we have the ability to do. Yeah, I love giving gifts. It's definitely my love language. And really like thing about being like love, like your love language being gifts is it's not about receiving gifts, it's about giving gifts. Which like your love language is about what you like to get, but I love to give gifts, so I don't know. It's a weird thing, but yeah, I'm right there with you. Oh, that's so sweet. Older brother, younger brother. Yeah, nothing's better when people appreciate what you crocheted. Cause like I've made some crochet people things for people and they're like, great. But like when someone is like, wow, this is amazing. You did this, you spent so much time on it. Wow, it looks so detailed. Like when people give you compliments like that, it's like you're flying on a kite. You're like, ah, I guess that's not the proper expression, but who cares, right? Younger brother. Oh, I have all sisters. I have two sisters, and we're all very far apart in age. So we kind of all grew up in very different lives. Yeah, my niece and nephew do like the crochet stuff as well. Another piece of advice is you want to make sure when you're moving up the tube that you made is that you're not pulling it too tight where you're constricting the tube. You want that tube to be nice and open so that you can just slip your little base thingy in there. This is the stupidest thing I think I've ever made, but who cares? Another thing you want to make sure you do if the points of the pipe cleaners are facing up or going to be at the edge of your project, you want to make sure you take them and you bend the tip just a little bit so that it's not as sharp so it won't poke through your project as easily. It'll still do it a little bit, but if you put a lot of different petals up there, it's not as big of a deal. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. I'm going to make sure that it's nice and open. Okay, so I'm going to start wedging this in here. And I'm going to go and start jamming this in here. Now, because I don't have the point on it, it's not going to go in as simply as the other pen, but that's okay. So we're just going to kind of that was a picture of the paint. Just kind of scrunch it on because over the bigger parts, it'll be easier to like pull it over. Okay, make sure that it doesn't get stuck on that little part of the pen, the cap of the pen. Okay, take this pen. Okay, so it looks like all the paint came off on the inside, so maybe the painting didn't matter a single bit, but whatever. And then we're going to start pulling it up and over our pen cap. Probably could have planned something better or easier for this, but you know me. Okay, so now that the pen is at the bottom, we're gonna try to pull oh god, I pulled the cap off. Fuck. Okay, I can't get the cap back on. I should have like glued it or something. That would have been smart. It's the fact that it has that like hole. Okay. I am stuck. What do I do? Okay. Okay, so we're gonna take this out. And what I'm gonna do is, all right, see, look, I painted it and literally like all the paint came off on the inside of the tube. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find my glue gun. Be right back. Okay, so we have our glue gun. When in doubt, just pull out the glue gun. I would use something like E6000 because it doesn't have a lot of like volume, but it takes longer to dry, and the fumes are pretty intense for what we're doing here. So this is my little mini glue gun. Finish the cat's body. Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. So I'm gonna keep on crocheting the petals, I guess. My So what is happening is that when I stick it in, it gets stuck on the pen cap, and it starts to pull the pen cap off. And I need the pen cap to not come off. So it just like separates into two pieces inside the tube. So that's not really what the point is. So we're gonna put glue inside the pen cap, and I'm gonna jam that on, and then I'm gonna try to cover up the end um, of the pen cap, like little ledge, and so try to round that out. It'll add some volume, but there's already volume there, so. Warm enough yet? Nope. Okay. Cool. Party. Sweet. I literally had like a panic moment, like where I don't know if you saw my face, where I was like, fuck, 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 fuck. Yeah, I am so sad that I spent all that time waiting for that paint to dry, and literally it just came right off. And it wasn't that it was wet and it came off, it's just that like basically the yarn scrubbed it off, and I didn't like prime the pen or anything because I really didn't care that much. Okie dokie. looking around for tubes. I mean, crocheting the tube wasn't the hard part. It was just finding something to internally support it was something that I don't really have any of. I guess I have that like weird Mod Podge glue stick thing that may have been sturdy enough. Okay, so what I was talking about. So this is Mod Podge High Temp Mod Melts Milk Glass White. So what you are supposed to be able to do is like fill in molds with it and then paint them. I thought that they would be super useful, but I literally like have never used them, but they're pretty sturdy. So like let me just like jam one of these in here and see what's up. Because like that would be way cool. Because I've had these for years. I don't think they make them anymore because like they just were kind of a dud product. But like, I mean, it's the white definitely shows through. But I mean, it gives a fuck. I mean, at least they'll get used. Because I'm never gonna use them. I thought I would use them. This is when I was like cosplaying and stuff, and I thought that they would be really helpful. But nope. I've had them for years. Oh, there's glue on my desk. Okay. This is like way easier. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, that's so much easier to put on. I mean, I feel like it kind of made this stick out more and look kind of weird, but let's do that. The rest of this is nice. But now I didn't need my hot glue gun and it's ripped on my desk. Another flower I made was this small one just to try and test it out, and then I curled up like a sparkly little pipe cleaner. Yeah, I'm feeling this vibe. Yeah, it's like the perfect size. It does shut through like just the teeniest bit, but it's not like super obnoxious or anything. Okay. It's like a glove, exactly. Okay, but now it's like really hard to crochet with it in there. So get mostly to the top before you add it in there. 2, 3, 4, 5. Which hook are you using? I see reddish tones, but I'm curious. So this one, I think Kayla from Alt Knots called it like the cotton candy hooks, but I don't. What is the name of these? There's the ones that like I thought they were gonna be more red than they are. They are actually very hot pink, which is not my style at all. Let me look at furls because I don't want to give you the wrong name. Oh, it's sending me some weird thing. Furls crochet. Okay. Products. Uh, there was this like a before prices change type of thing. Okay, so these are the Polaris. This is a Polaris hook. So it's got gold glitter in it, pearlized white, and then it's bright pink, which again, I don't know why. I thought it was going to be more red, but this is before I ordered them and they came out. Yeah, so it's the Polaris hooks. but I wish it was red. I do have an Aries hook, so I have only one Aries. I try to kind of like now that I've started to like build my collection, I kind of do one at a time. I kind of like having like one of each color so that I know what the hook is before I pick it up. So this is an N hook, so it's a 9 millimeter, and this is the Aries hook that I have, nice and thick. I try to get my hooks that are. Yeah, I think I own one of the Borealis, but I could not tell you for the life of me where it is, because that's the green and purple one, right? Yeah, I got one of those, I think. Borealis is a great name, right? I mean, but like when I think of Borealis, I don't think of the colors that it actually was, but it definitely was like Beetlejuice vibes down. Like it's a cute hook for sure. I am patiently waiting. So like I don't have money, first of all. So like I have basically one of every size that I use. So I don't need any more hooks. I do have a couple of the smaller hooks in like seconds because they were half off, and I was like, these hooks just tend to break more, so it's nice to have. Um, and But I told my wife, I was very clear. I was like, the minute that they come out with the Scorpio collection, I'm gonna buy that whole. I'm gonna buy that whole collection. So you need to be ready for when Scorpio drops because I'm gonna buy it because the hook's gonna be cool. Wish they would make bright red and black. Yeah, I think the closest that you have to bright red and black is the Aries. But I do wish they did have more black in it. I think that would be way cooler instead of like because they put white in it, and so like a white resin in with like a clear red, and so you get this weird kind of like pink like Pepto Bismol like cloudy color, which isn't my favorite, but whatever. It's good enough. Yeah, your Aries look a lot different than mine. Is that an Aries? Yeah, I don't know why. My Aries looks. I mean, I know that they're all like different, but like my Aries, I feel like looks less cool than a lot of people's. But I try to be mindful if it has clear resin, even if it's pigmented. Um, but if it's clear resin, like the end of this one is, so you see how it's clear and then it's milky and has like a solid resin here. I try to be careful. I try to get hooks like this um, in the larger size because whenever I see the majority of the broken hooks that I see are smaller and then they had clear resin at the top. So I try to avoid that. And I don't do any of the glitter hooks and I don't do any of the um, like tinsel hooks because I think that it kind of weakens the resin. Now the newer glitter hooks that they just released, the black and um, the black and silver one. That one was gorgeous, and I wish I would have gotten it on sale before they described it. But like, I was just like, I was like, I'm afraid that I don't. They just said it was a glitter hook, so I thought it was gonna get glitter in the tip, and that's not what they did. So I think that they realized that the glitter kind of like I think they realized that putting glitter in the tip kind of made it weak. I don't know if that's true or not. So they have two hooks right now that have the glitter just at the bottom. Um, Let me just search glitter. Okay. So they have the Moonlight Streamlight Glitter Crochet hooks, which those are gorgeous. They're like black and silver. And then they have the Wonderland ones, which are blue and silver, like a light blue. I honestly, those colors, like they just make me mad. I don't like those colors. But the Moonlight one, I'm very into, but it's too. I don't need any hooks, so maybe if I got like a good deal on it, I would be more like yes. But right now, I'm like nah. Um, so yeah, those are the two that just recently. Well, they're just glitter at the bottom, so they're just glitter at the base, and then they're solid at the top. So your snapping risk is way lower because like the glitter is where it's thick. So I mean, it's I think that they learned from their mistakes because they were having to replace so many of the glitter hooks. Um, so I think that they realized, and like when they finally released the chill glitter, which did anyone notice that they didn't really advertise it that much compared to like what they normally do? Um, like they didn't even offer like super the smallest sizes. I think they went down to 5 millimeter, like 4 and 4.5. They didn't even offer. Two, three, four, five. It's tagged because pride glitter are pretty. Yes, they are. But I'm like, I'm happy enough with, and you can get a thicker pride glitter, but like, I like the regular pride better. The only thing I don't like about it is the purple is so understated. They're just like, hey, we'll put like a lot of like of the other colors, and then like we'll barely put a fucking touch of purple on it. I feel maybe if they had gone with like a different blue or purple, like the tones wouldn't like meld into each other and they'd be a little bit more distinct. But now when I do the rose, I'm gonna follow the tutorial for the oh that sucks. Well, they'll be around for a while. They're very popular. So if you ever get into space or you can get them again, you know that they're there. Um, so what was I saying? Oh, for the rose, I'm gonna do the roll up thing that they had that I've seen tutorials for, and then I think I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna make sure it has like thorns on it. So I'll probably do just like a chain three every once in a while, or maybe like a picot. I'm not really sure what I'll do yet, but I'll do something where it looks like little thorns because I think that's an important part of distinguishing like uh, the end of the or distinguishing like the stem of the rose. There we go. I just wish that I was like one of those people who could just buy like all the hooks at like one time. I don't feel like I need it. I don't feel like I need that many hooks. I'd rather have a lot more yarn than a lot more hooks. But like there's some collections that are so beautiful. I just wish I had like more of them and I just can't afford to ever be like that. But like I said, when Scorpio comes out, your boy is gonna be buying pretty much all the sizes of that. Some of the larger sizes I probably won't, but I'm gonna be on that. Okay, so now I'm gonna close up the top of the stem. Like I said, this stem is pretty thick for like, what it is, but good enough for me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, I don't even like that decrease. For referrals, like where they sell them at a reduced price. Ooh, that's pretty sweet. If you want to post a link on Army of Weirdos, then people can access it anytime. Because I think once it's in the chat, it's a little bit harder. My friend is calling. I might answer him later. But I will. Yeah, I'll get back to you. That's my boy. What is happening here? Okay, I don't know what's happening. Okay, I sold all of mine in that group. Oh, nice. Yeah, if you can find like a furls appreciator, it's definitely you're gonna get better prices than someone who's just like, I don't know if I like furls, and I'm not committed to, you know, buying them, at a reasonable price. They're not cheap hooks. So I'm just slip stitching around the top. I'm not doing any decreases because I tried and they look really bulky and weird. And granted, there's gonna be a lot of like petals and stuff over here. Like I just don't like that. So okay, so I'm gonna cut this. Oh wait, it's already short, but I'm gonna cut it shorter so that I can sew in the ends on there, too, lady. Wow. Except the areas which Mr. Yarndall bought, and then Don told me to just keep them. Oh, your cherry husband said, oh, that's so sweet. Okay, I think I'm gonna take a needle for this. Where is my needle? Yeah, honestly, like, I wish I had like another candy shop, uh, 3.5 millimeter, because I have my candy shop, and I would never buy the stupid case because I think they're stupid. It does keep it safe, but it's stupid. But with my 3.5 candy shop, like, it's looking a little worse for wear, and I will never be able to get a new one. So, sucks to suck. Yeah, the candy shop hooks, I mean, if you had the money for them at any point, like, I mean, they were, obviously very nice hooks and just really cool, like, artisanal pieces, but I don't know if they were the most practical for, like, you know, daily crocheting, but that's just me having one size. Um, some of the handles are very weird, i.e., mine that looks like, but okay, so I finished the green. I still have this green end. You bought them on sale? Oh, nice. I think I maybe had like a 15% off like coupon, but that's it. It's so expensive as hell. Okay, and so I'm trying to sew this up in a way where it covers like as many holes as possible. It covers up the glue stick. Okay. Okay, so it's starting to look pretty full, pretty dense, which I like, but I might start spreading them out a little bit more. I was afraid that they were gonna be too sparse, so I added more, but I think I'm gonna start spreading them out a little bit. Two, three, four. I'm really excited about this, but I hope I can like get what I want done in time because obviously like this is only good if it's done with what I need. And I think I'm gonna have some multiples because like if I just do like all different flowers, I don't think there'll be a whole lot of cohesion. So I think I'll do like a couple of these, a couple of roses, a couple whatever. I know my uh, uh, her favorite flower uh, is a hydrangea, which I've been like, oh, how are we gonna do that? you know, um, I have an idea. Like, so I bought some of these um, styrofoam balls for my Alzheimer's fundraiser. So I was thinking about doing something like this and putting like pins all over and then doing like little flowers, like 4-leaf flowers all over and connecting them with the pins, like going around the pin so that it would all kind of be like a ball shape, but I didn't have to put anything else. I didn't have to like crochet the inside of the ball. I guess you could crochet a sphere and then put that might be better actually. Because you don't have to worry about the pins. What do you think? Um, styrofoam ball or doing a sphere, stuffing it, and then putting the flowers on the outside of that. And then I think I might hand paint some of the flowers due to like color variations and stuff like that. So it'll be like very like personalized. And I don't think I will. I've seen some people who are like selling like custom bouquets, and they're like, um, like this is the price for like one rose, and this is the price for one this and one that, and like that's like I think that's pretty smart, but like I just don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I mean, I think there could be like a market for it, and like especially for like weddings and stuff, to get like a crocheted um, bouquet, but I don't know if I want to be in that world. I so one of actually probably the reason I stopped doing makeup is because weddings, because brides are fucking mean, and I just like I couldn't I couldn't deal with that kind of like harassment. Like it was like there was one in particular who was like she was my ex. She was marrying my ex brother in law's brother, right? And she wanted me to do her bridesmaids makeup, and we did a test, like a trial on one of the bridesmaids. She liked the makeup, so I brought like a couple different variations. So we did in different skin tones, and then she had someone else doing her makeup, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And so like this happens all the time. People like before the wedding, people will be like the bride will reach out and people will be like, oh, like, okay, so maybe like two of the five bridesmaids want their makeup done. And then like you get there and five of the five, actually six of the five, because like all of a sudden the mother of the bride's like, I want my makeup done too. And so you end up being like super overworked. You don't have enough time for everyone. And then they often don't think about like how they're like the position they're putting you in. So they're like, just go over by the table and do makeup there. Right? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be in there for you. Um, I'm about to leave to watch Drag Race, but but then like they give you like shitty light and like if you don't have good light or like half of someone's face is dark, it's really hard to do their makeup. And then tones that work on one face don't work on every face, and it was such a nightmare. I literally cried in the hall. Like I had to leave and be like 1 second because the like the bridesmaid would go into the other room with the bride and the bride would be like, that looks fucking hideous. And my sister was a bridesmaid, my older sister was a bridesmaid. I was like, and I was in the hall crying. I was like, fuck that bitch, and stuff like that. I usually remain very professional when I'm wearing shoes and stuff like that and stuff like that, but like you don't talk about me like that. So I'm gonna leave and watch Drag Race, but I will see you all later and I hope you have a great night. Bye.